Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. I want to talk about, hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. A difficult topic. And before I get to this topic, which is dementia and working with people with dementia, it's hard not to look at this in a biblical sense. And in any case, I'll get to that in a second. But um, I'm gonna leave a link. I could easily just play it to you and show it to you, but I don't want to make this video about this, although I might do it later. I'm not editing this tonight. This is just, most of my videos I don't plan. Most of them I don't. This is Niagara Falls. Actually, that's a number of hours away from my own home. It's not too far. It's beautiful. It's the volume of water is much more than there's another one that looks like this in the world. I believe this is a Canadian side. Canadian side is better than the American side, but the volume of water that this puts out is just astronomical. It really is. And then it's higher than it looks too. But there's one in Brazil, and I think the one in Brazil kind of looks cooler because it's over a longer landscape, I think, and there's like separate waterfalls. But to see that if you would want to go and see one, I would want to see this one first. Niagara Falls. I've been there. I've been there a couple times anyways. Let's talk about dementia and its implications on Christians, on society in general. This is a very last disease. I'm sure, there are diseases that we don't know out there that are horrendous diseases, and this just happens to be the most common one that does a horrible thing to you. I'm studying addictions counseling, and I'm also a born-again Christian. And I don't know about you, but I believe, and I'm not talking about works, I think it's an excellent thing to get into healthcare. I think a lot of born-again Christians understand that, just like Jesus, we are not at work. I'm not saying this, but a lot of born-again Christians tend to be like servants, right? Am I right? And I mean with a good heart. So I volunteer, and no one volunteers as much as me there. And it's because I'm looking for experience. You'd say, why don't you just go to a treatment center? It's not that easy, just to do that anywhere around here, anyways. And what I'm searching for is certain types of hours. In any case, I just thought it was the best idea to start getting experience working one-on-one with someone. So like I said, I go from one room to another, and I develop relationships, and I try to put people at ease. That's what I try to do. I try to put people at ease. And if the topic of God, I raise the topic of God only after, I don't do that with everyone. Excuse me. But after I speak with someone for a certain amount of time, I'm not talking about just dementia patients. There's other people in there too, but we talk about all types of hope and things that they can still do, And, one of the last things I will say is, do you believe in God? After everything is said, I'll say that. If they don't, I won't push myself on someone. But if they do, all the better. And if they want to know more, of course, I will tell them. It's a perfect place to get experience because I'm working with people. Well, at dementia, you're working with people with declining mental health, right? And I'm also people who have different diseases, and the system is so packed these days that this is where they're putting people in nursing homes. Some people should be in psychiatric wards. That's the way it is today. I'm trying to catch my breath. Spasms in my esophagus. I go long periods, like between doses of medication. I eat food, and I had just taken my meds about 15 minutes ago, so you'll hear my voice gets stronger as it goes along because I took a colic medication and a pain medication. So I'll tell you, man. Like, I'll go room to room, and people vary by floor. Like first, second floor are just full of people with dementia and Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever types they are. Who knows? It could be a motor neuron disease, which those could be equally as bad, right? And those diseases, can end up in dementia. Your brain is a muscle, if you don't know that. You wonder sometimes why, there's like 100-year-old just got their doctor's degree or, these types of things. How is he in such great shape? How does he still look so young? It's because they do things like they walk. Simple things like walking, but reading. In the last 7 months, I've read probably, if I was to average it out, maybe 5 hours a day. 4.5 hours, I would say. Some of those days are many more hours than that. I know that's the type of thing that keeps your brain sharp. I'm telling you that because in dementia, your brain atrophies. It gets smaller. I don't know how to yet anyways. Like, it's a YouTube 10-hour video or whatever. I can mute it, so it's on mute. But my voice, I don't know how to tease them apart. I don't know that function. I'd like to play it on a low level. I love rivers and waterfalls. I find them extremely peaceful. In any case, these are places where people don't want to go. Most people don't want to go. Who wants to go to a nursing home? Who wants to go to a nursing home, right? Who wants to go to a nursing home and try to care for someone with dementia? People who are, on a spectrum. It's a spectrum. People are aimlessly wandering hallways. Aimlessly. Just like me in 2016 when I was put in a psychiatric ward for, not for psychiatric reasons, but I was put there. I know what aimlessly walking is like. So I'd been trying to take my life because I didn't know what all the pain in my body was about. I was decaying anyways, so I know what it's like to be in a similar position in any case. But that's one of the reasons, right, why. So they're aimlessly walking the hallways. It's tough to watch, and, they could be asleep in a chair. They're awake one second and sleep the next. I think one of the protocols is to You know, if they have to go to the bathroom so bad, which often they do, which is just another sign and symptom of dementia, they just let them go in their things. There's a shortage of people. You can't always take those types of people to the bathroom, right? So communicating with them, there are ways to do it. And you know what, like I'll bring them like this very laptop that I'm doing this video on, and I'll play the music. I think there's nothing better than that when they have a good reaction to that. I think it's beautiful. This is a Christian perspective. What happens is when you play the music, and it'd probably be even better if you gave them earphones like this, so it would isolate the sound. Is that it jogs long-term memory. They have trouble with short-term memory. So memory recall. I talk to people. I feel so bad for them. Like, I feel they trust me, but I may walk away and come back. They may not even remember my name. Actually, that's what happens most of the time. They look at you suspiciously, and like when they're at dinner, they're like, looking around and stuff, and like they don't want to eat dinner there, and they'll come back after everyone else is gone. It's sad, man. And I'm gonna talk about dementia, but can you imagine forgetting everything you ever knew, or going in and out of that? I do remember I took the reason my pain started in 2004 was because of a serious event called the serotonin syndrome. And I was constantly confused for a year. And I was so confused. I remember walking out of a kitchen, and I put this in my autobiography, but my brother said something funny, and I was laughing. And I walked out of the room, and when I got in the other room, I turned around, and I couldn't remember what he even said. And it scared me. So I know what those feelings are like. So can you imagine being in a perpetual place like that? And it goes up and down all day. And it must be tough to sleep. Some sleep a lot, some have trouble sleeping. But can you imagine not being able to sleep? And you get worse everything gets worse when you don't get your sleep, especially with pain and mental health. And like I said, it's on a spectrum, and one person could have a different reason. They could have like Lewy body dementia, frontal temporal dementia, Alzheimer's, vascular dementia. And I wonder, like, why is this one over here? Why is this person over here violent? Why are they always yelling? Why are they always... Who knows? They may have had a good personality before. You never know. I walk in. They're saying screaming out the same names. I leave. I come back. They're still screaming those same names. It's tough. And so I've been there long enough that people have died, feeding them. So at dinner time, so there's a woman who I may feed 3 or even 4 people. We move seats and stuff like that because it takes time, right? They have trouble swallowing and stuff, and opening their mouth. And this one person, I'm not going to say, because I don't like giving too much away, they're always combative. And like today, I thought they were going to break my finger, and I had it in a hold, and I had a glass in my hand. They're trying to break the glass. It was hard plastic. But as I stay there, and I'm very careful. I'm like, this will help you. This is good for you. And I'll try to wait it out, and I'll watch other people not be successful with it because they're not taking the time. Because you want them to have food, right? I can tell you, I don't want to end up like that. And I'm going to say this. What is the cause? Jesus told us in Matthew 24 that there would be pestilences and plagues, and we think of in the Bible as it being God is causing it, but you can't look at it that way, because it's already played out. God already knows what, before it happened, God already knows. So he has a recording device, right? It's like he can pop in the movie and look, but it's not just like that. He knew that all the stuff that we would put in the atmosphere, in our water, up high in planes that crop dusters, things that like that flow from the soil into the water, people dumping chemicals. Boy, oh boy, plastics. Hard plastic, I believe, is okay, but microplastics, they say, is one of the reasons for it. They say not to heat things in a microwave in plastic because it will seep into your food and into your water and all that. I've tried to lower mine, to be honest. That's just one of the causes. The other cause they say is loneliness. They believe it's the society. It's age. Age is a huge one. But it's people being lonely. When you're lonely and you have no one to talk to and you can't entertain yourself, then it's like your brain starts to shut down. You know that? Like, just picture someone sitting, which I see a lot in a nursing home, people sitting or staring out the window or just staring at a wall. Their brains, it's like you start to break down. They need interaction. Interaction keeps you alive longer. I'm not saying you need interaction to stay alive. I know how to entertain myself. I work with my hands nonstop. And I believe that does keep me from stuff like that. My dad, he's 80 years old. He's alone, and he's always he's doing like the same stuff as I do. What is it? Pesticides. Things we never had in our environment before. Just think of them all. All the plastics, the oils, things made in China. Like I said, crop dusters. We don't know. We know way high up they're letting something go. And people think that's a conspiracy theory. It isn't. And there's one way to tell. They erased this off the internet, by the way. It was something in like year 2000 or 1990s. It was a U.S. Congress. And a woman did a great job at her investigation. She went all across the United States looking at all the contrails. She saw them everywhere. They said they found, titanium in the rainforests, or the rainforests of California, like the big, like redwood type forests, and that only comes from like high above, from spraying it in the air, for whatever reason they're doing it for. So the way you can tell is by looking up. You can go on the internet if you don't believe me. Go look at a regular contrail from a jetliner that transports people. Well, it's going to come from that as well. But we don't know what's up there. Sometimes you can tell, but anyways, when it goes, they say it's all across the American skies. They keep erasing this video. It was a congresswoman. The contrails, after a regular jet fuel, only expands. It stays skinny and then it goes a little bit wide and then it dissipates. The contrails that they're talking about, these chemicals, they're going way wide. And as you see in this picture here, you see all the haze. That's what it causes. And they believe that that's blocking out the sun. So, in any case, that is happening. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's the truth. To what level? It appears to be quite high. Go look at any of the labels of the things, your cereals, your whatever it is, your drinks, your soft drinks, all those types of things. You look at the list of ingredients and there's about 70 different ingredients, and it's not even worth looking at because you don't even know what they are. Guys, it never used to be that way. So this is, if you look back into the 40s and 50s, you don't see these diseases. And if you do, they're more a rare occurrence. So the question is, why? Something that was introduced is causing it. Anyways, I don't want to get more into that because, like I said, I'm not an expert. What those things I said are true. It's something that's been introduced into the environment, and all we have to do is look back at the years where the numbers were so low or were not there at all. Immense. Can you imagine? So this one woman, I'm feeding a person here, I'm feeding a person here. And I do try to take the hardest people. I just have that frame of mind because I want to be able to deal with anything. And I'm not saying I'm the best at it. But this woman, you have to grab her arm. You have to push the chair in behind her. You have to say, "It's dinner, please sit down, please." And it's over and over. She just gets up, walks out. You have to hold her there. It's not that she's refusing, it's that she doesn't know any better. So it's sad to see a lot of the things. It's sad to see someone not remember something and be in total confusion. You can see it on their face. And as a Christian, what would I do if this happened to me? My friend named Johnny had this. And I don't mean Johnny who died in 1997, another Johnny. I was trying to keep him occupied. This is when I didn't know any of my pain diagnosis or autism or any of those things. God bless him, man. He had frontal temporal dementia. He was 29 years old. In agitation and irritability, if you have someone in that state, CBD or marijuana is a miracle tool. A miracle if they're like that. And I can't suggest that in this home. They're unaware of its benefits. There are videos that prove exactly what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about with this. But as a Christian, what do you do with this? What do you do when you can no longer remember things? Are we not going to remember God anymore? There's an article, I haven't read it yet, but I'm probably read it at the end of tonight. What's the article comprised of? I just thought, is it wrong to stop eating and drinking in that case? What happens when everything you know, you're going to be in a constant state of irritability, agitation, confusion, tiredness, restlessness? I don't know the answer, actually. Whatever God would say, they say there's no biblical evidence, there's nothing in Scripture that says we can't do that, but I don't know. I'm just telling you my heart about the dwarf rabbit that I got is about a year old. So I have him in a pen, and he's right beside me here in a pen. And I have like a garbage pail on its side. I cut out the end to give him like a tunnel. And I put a recycling box on the top of it. He likes to go up on the can, go into the recycling box. And when it's around time to eat, he knows, and he sits there and he stares. He just stares at me for that however long until he gets his food. So, I just saw something pretty freaky. I'm going to share, like I said, that song. There's a song from 1990 that they made called the 666 song. Listen to its lyrics, you're not going to believe it. It's talking about putting a chip in your forehead or your hand. They're dancing. It's like a 90s type song, 80s, 90s type song. And the stuff they're saying in there is like, you'll see. I haven't seen something like this before, and I would be glad to share it with you. I believe technology is the people who, obviously I think the rich families of the earth, whoever they are, whoever they really are, have technology probably 20 to 50 years ahead. So in 1990, they could have known about Neuralink. By the way, Neuralink equals 666 in Greek gematria. If you don't believe me, go look up at any Greek gematria and type it up, and you'll see it's 666. As the book of Daniel says, iron will not mix with clay. They knew. Watch this song. It's just insane. So, I can't speak to the exact ways people died, all of them. But it wasn't like, I don't know, to be honest, I haven't investigated. Were they just natural deaths? I'm sure there were some bad deaths, but just the whole process of the diseases we have. Like, I watched my mother go through, oh man, like it was tough to see, like you hear the breathing, like at first it changes and then it goes into the death rattles. And, boy, that can go on for a couple days, even a few days. But to see, I remember my mother was no longer conscious, but it was like she was down like this, and then she would get up, her eyes would open up, and she would push herself up, and it was called writhing. She was, to be honest, I can't even remember what the name of that was, but she was writhing. And it wasn't nice to watch. Anyways, my conclusion here is this. All these things that we're seeing, like dementia, and then the way people die, and cancer, and the way people die, things like terminal agitation and stuff like that, to me, in a Christian view, I realize we're in the end. I'm going to say something in a second. You know who I think Donald Trump is? I do believe he's the literal Antichrist. By the way, him backing down from those tariffs on Canada, it was Canada that caused all this. We are intertwined with your economy a lot. And he realized he couldn't do it. And your news channels are going to say that Doug Ford backed down. I don't want to be political, but that's not the way it was. We're ready, by the way. We are ready. Canada has, in my opinion, more educated people. It's true. Look at the education system. This is why we pay high taxes. We have a lot of manufacturing, too. Not to say you guys couldn't have killer manufacturing, but in any case, you see what he's doing? I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to have this leverage over you. He gets into power. This country, that country. This is what the Antichrist does. Because he wants leverage, just like a narcissistic NPD. I wasn't willing to say that before, but all his actions, he is. If I was a leader and I just wanted him to back off, I would say, he's pretty good at what he does. You know, that's what I would say, because then he would all of a sudden idealize me. I'm being serious. All these diseases, all these things we see are a sign of the end. It's just like people are brainwashed today. People are brainwashed. You know what the devil has done? He's made technology. And technology, what it does is it keeps us divided. It keeps us... That's why people don't believe in God. Do you get it? The devil has done his job. And continues to be divided. People follow the beast, the beast system. If we all are in it. You know, if we use it for good things like this, that's fine, you know, like our places of institution can barely hold people anymore. They're putting them in nursing homes, and it takes a lot to keep someone under control with dementia, to watch them. What did I want? I'm not educated enough to tell you the truth, too. I don't think anyone is. In biblical way, to tell you exactly what you should do about dementia and all those things. Now, you know, obviously I tell you to keep pressing on. But it's just such a tough thing. Can you imagine dealing with it and knowing? In any case, you know, pray for all those people. To me, this is just a sign of the end. And obviously, what I'm saying is not empty and biblical, and in a biblical way, because we see what's happening around us. Instability, just an awesome instability. When they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them like labor pains and childbirth. Are they saying peace and safety? You see Ukraine right now? I believe it's going to be that one, by the way. That's just my personal view, based on severity. But, yeah. You know, people say the U.S. isn't in Bible prophecy, but they don't understand who the real beasts are, that they will realize it is. I just wanted to finish off by saying this. So I've said what I wanted to say about dementia. Alzheimer's, dementia. Alzheimer's/dementia. I got a comment. I forget your name because I haven't looked. I saw it earlier today. Thanks for the comment. It was about Zechariah 12:13. And boy, I wish I could read to you right now. I don't have the time because I have to study. Deuteronomy 32. In any case, that's going to be another video and exactly what I'm talking about. You said I'm on the right track. There are pastors, good pastors like Law of Liberty, Adam Fannin, who teach about, and I looked, who are God's chosen people. I know people who in Christ are, but I'm talking about who are they talking about in Zechariah 13? Real Jews of today living in Israel? Because I know in 2,000 years ago what happened in 70 AD. Go back to Matthew 23, the parable of the vine dressers. They took it from them and gave it to us. So I'm confused by, I believe God is going to have pity on a certain group of Jews who are living, if you're watching my video, in, you're saying Judea, right? Jew. And then you think of like, all Israel shall be saved. What do they mean by that? All Israel shall be saved. See, they're very confusing things. In any case, I read Isaiah, I did the exegesis of Isaiah 66. It's not about modern day Israel, you know. Who has heard such things? Who has seen such things about a nation being born in a day? It's not about modern day Israel. I will do that. I think I did that. It's not. In any case, I message these people and I say, can you please do a video on Zechariah 12 and 13? If we are all saved by one way only, through Jesus Christ, then what is Zechariah 12:13 about? Is it going to be Orthodox Jews? I don't know. In any case, I don't know right now. But if you're watching my video, I would love an explanation or a video that you could recommend to me on the subject, because I can't find one out there. And I've also looked on the internet to see if I could find the explanation in a good article. I can't find it. And I'm usually good at searching, but in any case, thanks for watching my video. And if you I would recommend you go out and fill the void of people who need care. Go to a nursing home. Even if they ask you for a background check, try to do it. Give them the background check. Go in. Start helping people. Those places really need people. Really. And, like at the end, they're always like, thank you for coming. And, it's not work to me. No matter what happens, no matter if someone's trying to break my hand or break my finger or trying to punch me or whatever. In any case, guys, God bless.